The last time the Chicago Bulls held the 4th overall pick, they walked away with a high-flying forward they called a franchise cornerstone. 6 years later, that pick, Patrick Williams, has become one of the most debated selections of his draft class. Now, Chicago is back in the exact same position again. 4th overall, another highly touted forward, another future of the franchise label being thrown around. This time, it's Caleb Wilson. And whether this story becomes redemption or history repeating itself is something Bulls fans have heard before and learned to fear.
I expect to have Rookie of the Year, honestly. I mean, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to do what it takes. I feel like the team is really good for me and how I envision to play. And I know I'm a hard worker, so whatever I need to fix and work on throughout the season and before the season, I'm going to work on it so I can be a great player.
Freshman forward, one of the best athletes in the entire class. Same setup, right? Another high upside prospect, another future cornerstone, another promise that this time it will be different. But this video isn't about Caleb Wilson as a player. It's about why asterisk isn't asterisk the same story, and why the difference has nothing to do with him, and everything to do with the people making the decision. If you're a Chicago Bulls fan, you already know the pattern. Every offseason comes with a new pitch, a new reset, a new explanation for why things will finally click, and then another year in the same 40-win purgatory. So if you're skeptical, that's understandable. But this time, something actually asterisk changed. The Bulls didn't just tweak the roster, they completely overhauled the decision-makers behind it. The front office is gone, the coaching structure is gone, and the new leadership in charge comes in with a very different track record, built on identifying real value in places Chicago has consistently missed. Names like Dyson Daniels at number 8, Trey Murphy III at number 17, and Herb Jones at number 35 don't just look good in hindsight. They point to a different kind of evaluation process entirely. That's the key difference here. This isn't the same group repeating the same mistakes and hoping for a different outcome. It's a new blueprint, built on a new philosophy. And that's why this draft pick doesn't feel like just another grade the selection moment. It feels like the first real test of whether Chicago has actually changed. Because for years, the problem in Chicago hasn't just been the roster. It's been the decisions shaping it. The last time the Bulls finished above 41 wins was a 2021-22 season. Billy Donovan's second year on the bench and Arturas Karnisovas's second year running the front office. That season briefly looked like a breakthrough. DeMar DeRozan arrived. Alex Caruso transformed the defense. Lonzo Ball stabilized everything. Chicago started 26-10 and looked like a legitimate Eastern Conference problem. But the entire structure quietly depended on one fragile piece, Lonzo Ball's health. When he went down, everything collapsed. Since then, the Bulls have been stuck in the worst place an NBA team can live. Treadmill mediocrity. Not bad enough to land elite draft talent. Not good enough to contend for anything meaningful. To be fair, Karnisovas eventually tried to pivot, but by then the damage was already done. The turning point people still debate is a 2020 NBA draft, when Chicago held the 4th overall pick and selected Patrick Williams. At the time, he was seen as a long-term project with elite physical tools. The issue is who came after him: Denny Avdija, Tyrese Haliburton, Tyrese Maxey, and Desmond Bane, players who have all become foundational pieces elsewhere. Williams, meanwhile, has never developed into the franchise cornerstone Chicago envisioned, producing flashes but never the consistent impact expected from a top 4 selection. Despite that, the Bulls committed long-term money with a 5-year, $90 million extension, a decision that only intensified criticism of the front office's direction. Then came another defining move, the Nikola Vucevic trade. In 2021, Chicago sent Wendell Carter Jr. and multiple first-round picks to Orlando in exchange for veteran help, signaling a win-now shift that never fully materialized. Vucevic delivered solid production, but not enough to justify the long-term cost of draft capital or the eventual extension that followed. Over time, those decisions compounded, and eventually, reality forced a reset. The Bulls became one of the most active teams of the trade deadline, reshaping the roster in a matter of days, moving on from veteran scorers, rotation pieces, and former first-round picks alike, and signaling the start of yet another attempt to rebuild the foundation from scratch. Jaden Ivey, Rob Dillingham, Colin Sexton, Anthony Simons, Leonard Miller, Nick Richards, Gershon Yabusele, and 9 second-round picks. That's a lot of guards, and a lot of overlapping skill sets. And yes, Ivy isn't even in the picture anymore after a bizarre sequence involving health concerns and controversy surrounding his anti-LGBTQ remarks. But even if you set that aside, the roster construction still raises questions. Dillingham, Sexton, and Simons all occupy similar spaces on the floor, similar roles in the offense, similar usage patterns. For a franchise trying to find clarity, it can feel like deja vu in different jerseys. Still, for the first time in a while, there was at least a visible direction. Chicago had already begun pivoting away from the Zach Lavine, DeMar DeRozan era when Josh Giddey arrived in exchange for Alex Caruso, but the deadline marked something more aggressive. This wasn't a retool. It was a teardown. Notably, the Bulls didn't receive a single first-round pick in any of those deals. Karnisovas defended the strategy, insisting he didn't regret waiting this long to fully commit to a rebuild. The irony is hard to miss. For years, he downplayed the importance of draft capital, especially second-round picks, only to later acknowledge, almost overnight, that picks are currency, a realization many around the league felt Chicago arrived at far too late, and apparently ownership agreed. In early April, with just 4 games left in the regular season, the Bulls fired both Arturas Karnisovas and general manager Mark Eversley. That move said more than any press conference ever could. It was a signal that patience had finally run out. The Reinsdorf family has owned the Bulls since 1985 and has long been known for its hands-off approach, preferring stability over upheaval. But this time, they intervened directly. And within weeks, the organization found itself without a head coach either. The Bulls made it clear they wanted to keep Billy Donovan, but after 6 seasons, he chose to step away. For a brief moment, Chicago felt directionless. No front office, no coach, no clear identity. But that vacuum didn't last long, because the hires that followed didn't just fill roles. They changed the tone of the entire organization that if you ask Bulls CEO Michael Reinsdorf, it took him about 2 minutes to know he had found his next basketball leader. The night before Bryson Graham's formal interview, the two met for dinner in Chicago, and Reinsdorf later admitted he knew almost immediately. Graham just had that presence. And that wasn't an isolated reaction. Everywhere has been, people have come to the same conclusion. A knee injury cut his playing career short at Texas A&M, but it revealed something more important. His value was never going to come from playing. Even as a young player, he stood out for his maturity, his feel for the game, and the way coaches naturally gravitated toward him. His path to the front office wasn't glamorous. He started at the very bottom in New Orleans, doing everything from unpacking boxes to handling day-to-day errands, whatever the job required. But that willingness to do everything led to his first real opportunity when Monty Williams promoted him to video coordinator despite zero formal experience. From there, the rise never stopped. Under David Griffin, Graham quickly became one of the most trusted voices in the Pelican front office, eventually gaining recognition as one of the sharpest evaluators in the league. By the time Chicago hired him, he had already served as general manager in New Orleans and later as senior vice president in Atlanta. But what separates Graham isn't just titles, it's results. Even before officially becoming a GM, he was deeply involved in New Orleans' draft process, with Griffin crediting him for effectively running draft room decisions during key years. His reputation was built on one clear strength: finding value where others weren't looking. Players like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Trey Murphy III, Herb Jones, Najee Marshall, Jose Alvarado, and Dyson Daniels all trace back to evaluations tied to his influence. Most of them weren't lottery picks. Many weren't even first-round selections. And yet, they became real NBA contributors. That's the shift Chicago is betting on now. Because finding stars at the top of the draft is one thing, but consistently identifying impact players in the middle of the first round, the second round, or even undrafted territory is how organizations escape mediocrity. And for a franchise that has spent years stuck in it, that might be the most important change of all.
With the 4th pick in the 2026 NBA Draft, the Chicago Bulls select Caleb Wilson from the University of North Carolina.
Now everyone in Chicago is hoping Bryson Graham can bring that same draft night magic to the Bulls. And if you look closely at the two players he walked away with, one thing becomes immediately clear. This wasn't random. There was a plan. As an organization, we get to welcome Caleb Wilson and Dallin Swain. With the 4th overall pick, Chicago selected North Carolina forward Caleb Wilson, a high-level athlete, long, explosive, and still developing, exactly the type of upside swing teams take when they believe in their development system. Then, at number 15, they doubled down on versatility, adding Texas wing Dallin Swain. Two different players, two different skill sets, but one shared theme: length, defensive potential, and room to grow into modern NBA roles. This isn't just about adding talent. It's about building a type of roster, one that can switch, defend multiple positions, and grow together instead of relying on one finished product to save them. For the first time in years, the Bulls didn't just draft players, they drafted a direction. And whether that direction lead to contention or another reset will depend on something Chicago has struggled with for a long time: patience.
He sets a ball screen. He gets out of it really quickly with his mobility.
Wilson knocks it down. Longhorns. Wilcher to Swain. Swain downhill. Jams.
The message coming out of Chicago was loud and unmistakable: versatility, toughness, defensive versatility, athleticism, and two-way upside. The Bulls weren't drafting to patch the roster Bryson Graham inherited. They were drafting to build the roster he actually wants. And that distinction matters more than anything. Because fixing someone else's mess is one thing, but building your own identity from scratch is something else entirely. Walking into Chicago, Graham inherited a team with awkward spacing, questionable shooting, and a collection of pieces that didn't quite fit together. Josh Giddey and Trey Jones in the backcourt, Matas Buzelis, and other developmental wings on the perimeter. It was a roster without a clear direction. He could have tried to plug holes immediately. Instead, he leaned into upside, because at this stage, rebuilding someone else's vision is limiting. But defining your own is everything. Caleb Wilson and Dallin Swain aren't identical prospects, but they fit the same blueprint. Wilson is a 6 feet 10 inches elite athlete, explosive off the floor, built for transition, and comfortable operating around the rim with constant energy. At North Carolina, he thrived above the rim, attacked in space, and showed flashes of a modern two-way forward with real defensive potential. His production backed up the tools too. Before a hand injury ended his season, he averaged 19.8 points and 9.4 rebounds, scored in double figures in every game he played, and posted 11 double-doubles. Swain brings a different type of value. With 99 college games and 72 starts already under his belt, he enters the league with experience most prospects don't have. At 6'6" 1/2 with nearly a 6 feet 10 inches wingspan, he averaged 17.3 points and 7.5 rebounds at Texas, consistently generating offense at the rim while defending multiple positions. He doesn't need the ball to impact winning. He cuts, defends, handles when necessary, and makes the right play without needing a system built around him. That kind of versatility is exactly what modern contenders look for. Of course, Bulls fans have seen this type of swing before. The last time Chicago picked 4th overall, they selected Patrick Williams, another athletic forward, another long-term projection, another bet on tools over production. The difference this time is that Wilson wasn't just drafted on potential alone. He actually dominated at the college level. That doesn't guarantee success, but it changes the baseline expectation. There was